So hi guys, and welcome to the coding section with FixiGeoS Security. As you all know, last year during our coding series and coding sections, we talked about few programming languages such as C and how you can use C to write basic print statements and concept of receiving inputs from the user, comparing these inputs and printing out statements in the terminal. And this statement has to satisfy a set of rules or conditions before the program is able to, print out that statement which the code was designed to execute. Then after we're done with the basic introduction to C, we moved on to talking about bash scripting. So in bash scripting, we wrote a simple script which has the capabilities of moving or navigating between directories. But before we did that, we also talked about the basic commands in Linux, which are like the kill commands, the list, the if and else statement, and so on. So these commands, we demonstrated them and described them as commands we use in our day-to-day activities. So this week, we want to round up that section by showing you how you can automate concepts using these various commands in Linux-based distros. So you might be wondering, why do you need to automate processes? It's very simple. The reason is that as you ascend in the profession cybersecurity, or as you become more professional or more experienced in the field, you tend to realize that you have a lot of jobs to be done and lots of tasks you need to execute. Now, running those tasks manually can become a hassle because you don't have much time to execute those tasks, either due to lots of meetings, schedules, or other projects you're having. And at the same time, you also want to keep up with optimum efficiency to ensure that you don't fail or lose oversight of something critical that might impact the organization or your organization's infrastructure. So today, we want to conclude that series by also writing a simple script that navigates to various directories on our Linux machine, which we're using for this demonstration. Then after we're done, we're going to show you how you can set up a cron job on Linux and how this has to be done. Okay? Because knowing how to set up cron jobs is the most important concept where you can execute your tools and of course navigate to whatever directories on your system or your infrastructure you wish to navigate. And let's say you build those tools to specifically scan for malwares or file changes. You can be able to analyze the results in a specific directory without the need to navigate to those various directories to see where there has been changes in files. And not just that, also, when you start working, you will notice that you deal with a lot of folders, directories that might have thousands, if not millions of files in them. Now, imagine if you have to navigate each of those directories, right, to analyze those files. Then probably it's something you cannot even get done within a year, okay? And not just not getting it done within a year, it becomes a problem not to quickly, mitigate a security breach if they have occurred in that system because of your lack of efficiency, right? So today we would build a simple script that has the capabilities of listing the contents of our various directories and outputting the result into a mailing list. Okay. So why do we create this mailing list? Is because we want to schedule a cron job where these results will be passed out into those various directories. And these results, we can now manually analyze them. And of course, if we notice something that is very suspicious, which is not our own doing or the job we programmed the system to do, we can now use that as a benchmark or foundation to analyze those files to see if they have been files, changed or altered by a malicious hackers. Okay. So it's very important that you follow this process. It's going to be very short. It's not going to be long. And at the same time, you're going to learn something very important on how the basic commands you execute operates. Okay. So first, we need to create a directory which we'll call our mailing list. Okay. this is where this result will be stored. So where do we want to create this directory? We can decide to create it on our root part, or we can decide to create it on our desktop. In this case, I desire to make this mailing list on my desktop. So what do? I cd it to the desktop, then I say mkdir for make directory, and I list the name of the directory that I want. I can call it mail list. Okay, then I hit enter. Now that we have created a directory, the next thing we want to do is that we want to create our scan script, which scans this various directory, right? So how do we create that? We can use the command touch, and we say auto scan dir.sh, and we hit enter. So we have created our mailing list directory, and we have created our auto scan directory shell script. Now for auto scan directory shell script, it's not an executable yet. So we have to turn it into an executable. So how do we achieve this? We use the simple Linux command known as chmod, change mode, spacing plus X. Then we name our shell script file we want to make into an executable. In this case, it's auto scan dir.sh. So note this, that whenever I use the plus X in a Linux command after the change mode command, it means whatever comes after that X is turned into an executable. Okay, so in this case right now, we just hit enter. Now we have turned our script into an executable. Now we need to start imputing the list of commands we want the script to execute. Okay, so how do we do that? We can either use Vim, or we can either use Nano, or even use Mousepad to, edit this file. In this case, I prefer using Nano. So I'll just say Nano. So since I'm still in my desktop, I don't need to specify the path. I just name the file autoscan dir.sh. Then I hit enter. Now let's just make a simple comment by using the hash. I'll say this is a simple script. Now we're done with the comment. The next thing we want to do now is to start putting in the comments. Okay. So how do we start inserting this comment? We have to understand how we want these comments to operate, or the mechanism of operation of these comments. So what do? We can say, okay, we want to use a bunch of if and else statement, or we just want to use a single if. If we want this result to be done simultaneously without ending the comments, right? Then outputting these various results. So what do? I just say if the comment can cd to the desktop, okay? Then ls space la. Now, if we use ls minus la, it's just going to list the file, including the hidden file, with the month and day, and of course, time in minutes and seconds. But that is not good, because let's say we have been in this organization for like 2 years, and these various directories have documents and files dating back as 5 years, right? Of course, we don't want to have multiple Decembers and be confused that we don't know what December is this file changed, or what December of the year this file is changed. And also we want to have those results to be listed in a very, very orderly manner, so we can understand, by category in years, how this result were changed. And of course, monitor this in a very smooth and orderly manner, right? So we can say LAT. So this LAT means in ascending order to list this timing. If we want it to be in descending order, we can put R. Okay. But since we don't want it to be in descending order, we just do LAT. Then we give space and we say -- time, okay, space style, dash style. Then we say full ISO, okay. So we're saying that the time style should be in full ISO naming convention, and the result should be output to home, okay. Then who is the user? In this case, Fixit Gateway Security. Then in what part does our mail list directory reside? In our desktop. Then in what directory do we want to save the result in our mail list? And what do we want to call the first result? We call it result1.txt. Then after that is done, we want it to cd away from the desktop directory. Okay. Then cd to pictures, right? Then ls minus lat time style full ISO. We continue the process, okay? Then we close the if and else statement, okay? Now, once we're done, we can save this file. We'll say yes, okay? Now we can go back to our root. Then we can say sudo, we run autoscan dir.sh, and we provide our password. Okay, now you can see we have an error, right? Because we did not state the full path. We can say sudo desktop autoscan dir.sh. Okay. Now it's supposed to be full ISO, not full CO. Okay. So we made a mistake there. Type in. Okay. So we say nano desktop autoscan dir.sh. So where did we say full CO? Okay. The last one. Sorry about that. Okay. Then we can say Ctrl X, we say yes, and we save. Then we come back here, we run. Okay, we say root. Now, you can see after we run this, everything was right. Then we can say cd to desktop. Okay, then we say cd to mail list. Then we can say ls. Now we can cut all those results and you will see what's going to happen. Okay, we paste this. We hit enter. Sorry about this. Let me minimize. So we run cat. Now, if you look at this right now, you can see the results are all listed and the changes in time, year, month, day, hour, minute, second, millisecond. Okay. So if we analyze this right now, you can see the results first were listed in ascending order. 2025 came first, then followed by 2024 and so on, right? So if we come from the bottom, right, we can see it's all in what? Ascending order. Okay. Now let's say this is a web server we're handling. This is how you create or you automate the process. Okay. This is now done and everything would be displayed back to you. Now let's say we want to run this as a cron job. Okay, on Linux. Now, running this as a cron job, it's very easy. First, you have to understand how you can, use time format on running cron jobs on Linux. So how do we use time format? First, we have to understand how we can list cron jobs on Linux. So we go away from this and cd to desktop, cd to mail list. Then we'll say ls sudo r-rf. Let's remove all those files, okay? And we play else. Now it's no more there, right? So we can cd to desktop. Good. Now, so let's say we want to list the cron jobs that are available on our system. We can say cron tab -l. So you can see for the user, there are no cron jobs, right? Now, let's say we want to create a cron job. But first, let's understand how cron jobs are created on Linux, okay? For time convention on Linux, this is how it is done, okay? We have the minutes, we have the hour, we have the day of the month, we have the month, and we have day of the week. So let's say I want to create a cron job, right? If I count this now, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say I want it to run in about 1 minute. I say 1 and I put star 5, right? Then I specify the part of where my job is. In this case, which is the script, right? This is going to run the cron job at this timing, ignoring this. So let's say every 1 minute, it's going to go to the spot and run whatever scan or whatever it is. Okay. Of course, we are talking about scanning our system, right? So we have to specify sudo and of course the path. Now we have known how to use the timing convention in creating cron jobs, right? So how do we now create cron jobs in Linux? The first thing we say is cron tab, then we say -e. Let me clear this first. Say cron tab -e. Okay. Then we come down here. You can see it's been stated here. For example, you can run a backup of all your users' account at 5 a.m. every week. So you can see it's 5:05, right? a.m. every week, which is 1, right? Then tar -ZSF, your backups home, and you can see what happens here, right? Now, in this case, we don't want to run this every 5 a.m. Let's say we want to run it every hour. We can say, okay, 0. Then we say **4, right? Then we give a spacing. We say sudo. In this case, we now say home. Okay. We say fixit gateway security. Okay. Then we say desktop. What's our script again? Let me check. Open. This is auto scan dir, right? Auto scan dir. Then I say run auto scan dir.sh. Okay. So this 0 here specify that every hour I want you to go to run sudo this script from the spot. Okay. And whatever the result is going to be saved on our desktop. So what next do we need to do? We just say Ctrl X. You say yes. And you can see it's saving the cron tab, okay, in this temporary folder. And of course, as sqksl4, right, /cron tab. So if we hit enter right now, and you say, do you want to retry the same edit, but our error in cron tab file? Okay, so we can say yes. Okay, let's go back. Okay, now you're supposed to do Ctrl X, right? Yes. Now you have to specify spacing, okay? Don't clog them together. If you clog them together, there's going to be an error. Now, if we clear this right now and we say cron tab -L, you're going to see we have one cron job, and this will be running in the next hour. And if we go back to our mail list in the next 1 hour, we are going to see the result here. Okay. So that is how you basically manipulate comments and of course creating cron jobs on your computer to get information about various file changes on various directories that exist on your computer. On the server side, let's say you are hosting a server on this machine, you can also specify the path where the Nginx, let's say you're running Nginx, right? Server is the www directory, the various folders that exist, and of course monitoring these files. And at the end of the day, let's say maybe 7 a.m. every morning, you can always check where there has been changes. Now, the reason why we also specify the time style in ISO is that if we don't use the time style, it's going to be very confusing in the sense that your results will be mixed. So you can see 2025, 2024, 2025, 2024 by different file names, right? Which makes it difficult for you to know which one is the one that has been changed or which one has been updated without your knowledge. But once you have put that, year in ascending order, so if you're dealing with files, you know that anything after the year you have, you started working for that organization, or after the year you have done the last patch that has been changed, of course, that's where you can, notice that something has been done on the system. Okay. So comments, writing codes, writing scripts are not difficult. But if you don't understand the foundations or you don't have the basic knowledge, it becomes complex. Okay. And Sometimes also when you write comments, you would make mistakes. Always find a way to go back and see where your mistakes have happened. Okay, that's how you learn. You can see right now when we are trying to create this cron job, we jumbled everything together, which we are not supposed to do. So we had to like give the spacing between the asterisks, right? So this is part of, what is expected, especially when you have a lot of things going on and you have a lot of things doing, and as well trying to, code at the same time. It's a little syntax error, a little spacing error, a little naming error, like, we said CO instead of ISO happened, right? So these are the things, because we know what we're doing, or we have an ideology of these comments. That's why we notice these errors and know that our code is not wrong. We just made a syntax error in our code. So that's it with this coding section with bash scripting, and rounding up how you can create a mailing list on your system to check for file changes. From our next video, we'll be demonstrating how you can build basic tooling using various coding language. We'll start with Python, bash script, C programming, and so on. Okay, so ensure you like this video, subscribe. Sorry for the mumble jumble, quite a stressful week for me. And I just had the feeling that I have to do this to be able to be ready for our proper trainings in our various YouTube channel as we promised. So thank you for watching. If there's any question you have, please feel free to join the Discord. Ask me any question. I would reply. Moderators can also reply as well. And if we cannot give you answers, then we'll go back to the drawing board to tweak whatever the problem is and find a solution for you. So thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye for now.